Hello.
Hello.
How
Hi,
is
Chris.
everyone doing?
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Hey, Chris, you're cutting out. If that's you. Can you say something?
Yes.
Oh, it wasn't you.
I'm cutting out, you said?
Oh, no. Sounds good. No. I have the same bed in my house. It's in my son's room.
Do you?
Thought I'd let you know that. I think I've told you that before.
I don't know. I do not know.
Now that's an office.
What's an office?
Where you're at right now. That's life right there. Just having your meeting wherever you want.
Yep.
That's
Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing?
right, brother. That's right. I am so with you. There's Ricky.
Guys, if you have any other platinums, you want to message them, tell them to jump on this call. Ricky, you want to start off?
Go ahead, Chris. I'll piggyback off of you in a minute.
All right, awesome, guys. So, hey, just wanted to touch base with everybody. I know many of us were at either different trainings, whether it be a bunch of us were at, SOS trainings. Others were at now my brain just went, Network Marketing Professionals Association of Network, the ANMP or whatever. My brain just went bleh. So it was really, really impressive. It was more than impressive to be able to meet the people that train the people that train the people that are this industry, right? Like the godfathers of this industry, people that without them we wouldn't have an industry right now, because they were with companies like Herbalife and Amway back in the day, and the companies that got sued, and a few things stuck out. Number one, we look at the fact that, we've had challenges with our websites and shipping and all this stuff. And, we act like the sky is falling, and it's crazy, right? It's terrible. And, in our Amazon world, in fact, they talked about that this weekend, that people have become accustomed to the whole Amazon experience. And that's what, at the end of the day, that we think that we're competing with. And the things that let's just use Larry as an example, Larry Thompson, and what he went through to make it happen back when they did not have communication. They didn't have the phone services like we had. They didn't have, like he literally said, he went into a town, had no upline, no company, no anything, couldn't get a hold of anybody for anything. Literally went into this town with some products in his car and started doing the presentation. 50 something presentations, not one person signed up. And he had to talk to, I think it was 10 people just to get one person to come show up to the presentation. So that is an amazing amount of people that he had to talk to. If he had to talk to 10 people to get one person to show up, and then did 54 presentations, 54 times 10, that's an amazing amount of people that he had to contact, and no one joined, over and over and over and over again, and was almost going to quit on himself. And then he remembered signing up that one person, and how much of a difference it made and how pivotal it was. It was just crazy listening to these stories. And then literally having this guy come and spend an hour with us after the event, standing in the hallway and just, talking to a bunch of us, just sharing with us. And, one thing I did get out of this whole experience was, one, we have been dead on in launching this company and this team. And the culture that we've created, the environment that we've set forth is really the reason why, this company has had such an amazing growth. With the philosophies being in the company, to create that environment to where not only the little guy can win, but you have an environment that everyone can win. And one of the things that Larry talked about was the 80, 15, and 5% rule. And I posted a video in the Platinums and Above earlier, based on a conversation I was having with one of the leaders in the team. And basically they went and found that and popped it, sent it to me, and I sent it to a bunch of people to watch. And one of the things, as we were talking to Larry and sharing what we were doing, he talked about how we're on the right path. And through that conversation, we started talking about, what are some things we can do to, one, sell the cause to bring it to the next level. A lot of us have not necessarily slowed down, but we've definitely slowed down our intensity, waiting on the new website to come on board, waiting on the customer service to check up and all those things. And the company was okay with us slowing down for a bit. But what we were talking about is how do we speed back up? Because guys, I got to spend a lot of time with Janine, the new customer service / her position isn't customer service, by the way. She's just in charge of getting that done, because she is someone that gets, I'll just use the language, gets shit done, period. And, she flat out said she was inspired by the message, by what we're doing, and saw this. And guys, her resume is probably one of the top resumes in the entire network marketing industry. She is there with the best of the best of the best. She was a top earner in Tupperware, had the top position in Tupperware. She has been instrumental in growing huge corporations and involved in a lot of things in the industry and a lot of things that we see. So not only were we at an event with a bunch of the icons of the industry, we have one that's joined our company. And that is Janine. So knowing what we have coming and all the things that are in place, I feel 100% confident that we can go and press the gas all the way to the floor. And they're going to, and I asked her, I said, are you guys ready? Do you understand what we're going to do? And she goes, absolutely, we got it. And then I said, you do realize we told Robert this? And he said, oh, no problem. Because, and then later on says, I've been told that by everybody. And if everybody did what they said, the company would have taken off a long time ago, right? But I said, I hope you're ready. You better be ready, because we're about to build in a big, big way. And then we actually did it, right? Well, what I shared with her is that we haven't really started yet. And I really believe that this team has so much more left inside of us and so much more that we can do. And you upcoming rock stars, I mean, guys, we've already done some amazing, amazing things under under amazing circumstances, right? Because it's been amazing that we've been able to do what we've done with how amazing the company's been able to handle it. And I'm talking about an amazing in the other way, right? So what I've talked to Ricky about, Cassandra and Mike have talked about this, Sean and Kim, and Marcy was there with us, and Amy Smith was there with us. And one of the things that we started talking about is how do we, one, enforce the culture that we've created that is the place where everyone can win and everyone can be a part of something. But how do we get, one of the things that I do know is that what we don't want to do, and I saw this happen in Visalis, where as we started to grow, we started to focus on all the big stories. We started to focus on the fact that all these people were hitting all these big ranks and stuff like that. And what happens is we will start to push away the people that make all that possible. And it really boils down to the 80%. Who are the 80%? We talked about this in our original messaging. The key to becoming successful is getting a large group of people to do a few simple things over a repeated period of time. So how do we enforce that and keep everyone in a position where they feel like they're validated and they're loved and they can work towards something that they believe they can do? And many of you all, we've been on these welcome calls and you've heard people and you ask them, you know, what's your dream income? And most people will say, I don't know. Because most of them haven't given themselves permission to dream. So what we've been talking about and what we want to get feedback on tonight is a cause that we can sell to the team. What if we sell everyone on we're going to create 1,000 thousandaires before the end of the year? What if we get people to buy in? Because see, people will believe that they can make $1,000, but not everybody believes they can make the kind of money that the people on this call are making. See, the people on this call are the 15%, right? The 15 to the 5%ers. We are the 20%. But the bottom line is what the key to becoming successful. We talked about this, all the leaders, every single one of us, when we were on those three-way calls, we talked about getting a large group of people to do a few simple things over a repeated period of time. We talked about if we build the people will build the business. And that's the reason why I feel, and every leader that we've talked to about this so far has been fired up about it as well. If we create the cause at a place that really resonates with the 80%, the 15/20% are going to be absolutely mind blown by how big their checks get. If we can master getting people to the $1,000 a month income, then the 20,000, 30,000, 50, and I believe we'll have people on this call right now making $100,000 a month checks with this company. If we can master this. I don't know how many of you all watched that video that Larry did, but he got up in front of the room, in front of a large group of people, and I'm talking about superstars that are literally making the kind of money that we're talking about here, and shared with them that they're almost 100% on. That basically they're just a little bit off, and if your coordinates aren't perfect, you don't end up in a destination. And he talked about why there has not been a legacy company that has been created in the last couple decades. And the reason why is because they were missing that message that caught everyone. And I really believe that with this mission that we can share with the team of creating the most thousandaires, and I want to get feedback on this, and I'm going to open it up right now, but when they hit the $1,000 mark, we can get t-shirts made that say #IElevated, which is right along with the culture of our company, which is elevating entrepreneurs in their health, their wealth, and their happiness. If they're making $1,000, they've helped a lot of people get their health straight, which in turn, they've also helped get their wealth straight, because $1,000, in fact, $500 would help more than 50% of the people that went bankrupt last year not go bankrupt, an extra $500. So with this $1,000 mission to create 1,000 thousandaires by the end of the year, which I know we can do, I believe that we can create something that everyone can believe in, that they can do this. And I'll turn it over to you guys to get any feedback or anything. I know that I think Shane said that he had something he wanted to share.
Yeah, Chris, thanks very much. I had the pleasure of introducing this product to a young lady in Kentucky. And in her first month, well, before this, anyways, I get all kind of teared up when I think about this story. But okay, this young lady, I talked to her and she said to me these words: Shane, I'm poor. I've always been poor, and I'm always going to know poor. And I said to her, you can't think that way. You can't think that way. You just got to keep on going, and you see what magic's going to happen. Her first check, she posted on Facebook, and she said, I can't believe my first check, something along these lines. I can't believe my first check I'm taking my family on a vacation. So I reached out to her and I said, holy crap, how much was your check? Because I was thinking she's going to, I don't know, Hawaii, or she's going to wherever with her couple of kids. And she said, Shane, my check was $700. And I said, wow. I said, that is awesome. That's incredible. She goes, not only am I going on a vacation with my kids to the lake to go camping, but I just paid the last payment on my trailer and it's paid off. And I'm thinking about going and buying a house. That's somebody that just, 2 weeks before had basically given up on the potential of even earning money and her life changing. And a $700 check gave her the ability to dream. So, Chris, I think this is an amazing idea. I think that when we all came into this business together and we all spoke at the very beginning about what we wanted to create, and it was a team, a community of people who were not segregated with ranks and all that stuff. That's what was beautiful about this. And I can't be more happy to hear this topic of this conversation, because we don't need to be, different than everybody else. We're all the exact same, no matter whether day one or whether or not we are, Mark and Judy. It doesn't matter. We're all the exact same people in our hearts. And that's the reason why we all joined this in the first place, was because we were following our gut and our heart about a community that was beautiful and being able to help people. So it really doesn't matter how much money we're making. And to help the 80% get to some place that's makes them believe even more in themselves is amazing. So I love this personally. So that's what I wanted to add.
Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I'd love to share. I think this is absolutely the most badass idea on the planet, because one of the things for those of us that have been around the block a time or two, we know that most people will do things they will do more for recognition than they will for money. And the challenge, I think, for a lot of people is, there is the opportunity for many, many, many of us to become millionaires. There's no doubt in my mind. But 80% of the population in network marketing, they just don't have that belief. And so when you can give them baby steps to strive for, and then acknowledge that with something as simple as a t-shirt that they can wear, first it'll be $1,000 a month, and then it's going to be $10,000 a month, and then it's going to be $100,000 a month. And when it's that, they're millionaires, and it's just been those baby steps. I think this will be brilliant and will just absolutely have on fire.
Thank you so
Chris,
much, Ann.
I have something to say.
Go ahead. I wanted to have you, Sean, and Cass share.
Well, I think that's a great idea. But one of my biggest takeaways from this weekend was, I have a notebook full of notes, which I know we all do. And, it was, number one, it was very inspiring and very eye-opening, I guess, to see that Richard Brooks wasn't even a speaker this weekend, but yet he sat there the entire time listening. Jeff Roberti sat there the entire time. He wasn't just there when he had to be on stage. He was in the front row listening to everybody. And to me, he's the $100 million man. What else does he have to learn? But yet he's sitting there in the front row listening to everything that's being said. And it just, I know, we were all sitting, Jason Adler, Jordan Adler was sitting right behind me. Todd Falcone was sitting at my table. It was just so amazing to be sitting around all of these that I've watched and followed and listened to speak on stage in Vegas. I've gone and listened to these people, and they're sitting there soaking it in and learning too, right alongside us, you know. But one of the biggest takeaways that I had was, I think it was Ray Higdon that even said it, was talking about contests. So, you know, we can do this and go for 1,000 thousandaires, okay? But, you know, and we do contests and say, you know, for every customer to try to motivate people to go into action. But a lot of times they're frozen in fear and maybe don't know what to do to get that customer or to get that promoter. And so Ray Higdon actually said, don't do contests, which I've never done contests of the top 3. And he agreed. He said that you lose everybody else because they feel defeated. They don't ever feel like they can be the top person, so they don't even try. I've felt that forever, you know, and so I've always motivated people by, you know, you get an entry for 1 customer or 2, you know, or a promoter, and you get so many entries. But he even said not based on results. Don't do contests based on results. Do contests based on the activity to achieve those results. And that really resonated with me because, you know, if we can motivate our people and say, you can get entered into whatever drawing, into whatever we're doing and whatever contest we're doing by simply talking to 2 people a day, or showing the video to 2 people a day, you know, sampling people. How many samples did you pass out today? You know, and you enter them into a contest based on the activity. We know if they do the activity enough and consistently, then they're going to get the results. So, you know, but they don't believe that. So if we reward that activity, then they're going to have those results. And sometimes they just don't have that belief or that drive to do the activity to achieve the results, you know. And so that really resonated with me. And I'm totally redoing my contest based on activity, not results. So
Awesome. Jen Marsh put her hand up. What is that about?
Hi, Chris.
Marsh.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So actually, ironically, that Kim was talking about that, I have been doing activity-based starting last month. I really didn't do a lot of challenges before, you know, with Melissa's group we did, but myself personally. And for just what Kim was saying, I feel like the fear thing is something I always talk about with my team. Just most of the time, when people don't know what to do, they're just because they're fearful they're going to do it wrong or they don't know where to start, that it is the activity that they need to be encouraged by. So it's been really helpful for our team. I don't get worried about numbers so much. What I give them activity based on, like right now what I'm doing and launching one tomorrow again, is a social media activity. Because a lot of people ask, you know, how can you find more people? So there's just little things that you can do every day. And I have 2 different designs set up and they can pick one or the other. If you do this, probably take you about 10 minutes a day. If you do this, might take you about 20. Pick which one you want to do. Just do one every day, because this activity, whether it be liking 5 Facebook stories, sending private messages to all of your birthdays on the list, just simple things that get them engaged with people. Facebook is free. If you're already using it, it is a free resource. You don't have to leave your house. You can, you know, join Facebook groups. So there's different challenges I've given them, and it's just been super effective based on activity only. And then I have rewarded them with programs that I have bought, like $7, $20, $50 programs. And I play the program, I put it on a Zoom, and everybody that wins gets the program with a password. It's password protected, and they get X amount of time to watch it, so that I know that they watch it and they get the value out of it that I want them to. So I might give them like 5 days to watch it, and then I just remove it so that the password's different and they can't go in again. So it gives everybody the sense of urgency. They use their reward, they're excited about it. And I have done rewards where I sent out a sample for each person that did the activity every day. So I sent a sample on your behalf to somebody that needed samples. And so that's what I did one week. I figure it's helping build their business. At the same time, they're doing some activity to get themselves busy. Anyway, I just wanted to piggyback on what she was saying.
Awesome. So, Sean, was it you or was it Mike? And I know y'all were together when the guy was telling the story about the team out of Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah, we were together. It was pretty nuts. So, guys, we were talking to two guys. They're about 28. Oh, I'm in the wrong parking spot. I'm sorry. About 28 years old, and they're in the top of the comp plan in their particular company. About 250 million a month. 250,000 a month. And so I just asked him. I said, "So let me ask you a question, because this particular thing just kept coming up with every speaker. It just kept coming up and kept coming up." So I said, "Hey, and these guys have a lot of young people, and just regular. And so I said, what kind of touch do you guys have, like, with your people? Like, as far, like, are you talking to every one of your people? Are you serving all of your people? What are you doing?" And he's like, "Dude, like, that's all we do. High touch. Like, you have to love on your people. Like, whatever you think is loving on your people, 10x that. That's what you got to do. You got to get down in your group, down in their group, down in the bottom. You got to taproot your people." So to get to that story, they had a team in Oklahoma, and these guys are from Miami. They're 28 and 30 years old, from Miami. And he's like, "Man," he said, "we had this team in Oklahoma. They were killing it, and then they dropped to nothing. They were doing nothing." So he said, "I looked at my partner, and I said, that's unacceptable. We're not going to do that." So he called up one of the guys there. They flew in the next night. They just started beating the street, burning the phones up, meeting new people. They put 500 people in the room that week. 500, not 50. 500 people in a room. They called up. They said, "Anybody in here making $500 a month?" They called two guys up, told their story. They said, "Anybody in here making $1,000 a month?" That's big money. And they built it up. So they started with the two, quote, small guys, right, at 500. And then they built up the big guy at 1,000. And they brought him up there, and they told his story. And he told the impact that $1,000 did on his life, how much it changed his life. And he said, "Man, we just poured gas on that fire. And we just kept uplifting him and uplifting him and uplifting him." And he said, "We built that whole thing around $1,000 a month. And guess what? That Oklahoma team is now back to one of their top producing teams." He could have just as easily said, "Man, we're two kids from Miami. We don't know nobody in Oklahoma. The Oklahoma team died off. Let's just go somewhere else." But they didn't accept it. They found two people at 500. They found one at 1,000, and they built on top of that. So I'm all in. Hashtag thousandaires. I think that's what we do. We get out here and listen. How do you hit 1,000? You hit 250. Then you hit 500. Then you hit 1,000. How you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. When somebody gets that, just like Shane was talking about, dude, that's $700 to that chick was the equivalent of $7,000 to that chick. When somebody makes a $7, I remember my first $6 check in Amway when I was 21 years old. Literally, I wouldn't cash it. I went around flopping it. Look, I told y'all it would work. I told you it would work. That's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to, you got what? $37? What? And we got to build from there and literally love on these people where they're at. Look, if somebody, and I agree 100%, that we should be doing rewards based on activity. Because how do you hit goals? How do you hit ranks? By doing the activity. So when you reward people by hitting positions, the people that haven't got to the position don't understand what it takes to get to the position. They don't even understand what they're being rewarded for. The conception of money doesn't mean anything. You see a room, you say, "Oh, there was 500 people at our event this week." And people go, "Ooh, that's a lot." Really? We had what, just shy of 1,000 at our first convention? We're wanting to have how many more in June? 500 people. The entire profession of network marketing, there was only 500 people at this event. Only. That's like nothing. So the conception of numbers, I'm a Florida Gator fan. The stadium holds 86,000 people. If I was to tell you 86,000 people went to the game, you can't conceive what that number means. But if you see an aerial shot, or if you're anywhere in North Florida when that game's over and you can't drive down any street because there's so many people poured out of that stadium, you go, oh my God, 86,000 is a lot. So to tell somebody, hey, you hit 20,000, well, we're pumping them up. That there's no conception of what it took to hit that. They don't understand what 20,000 means. But if we can go, wow, you just made $50, and we reward people for doing the steps. So Ann and I and a lot of people on our team we're part of Ray Higgins Rank Makers, and Ray has a tracker much like the Players Club form, very similar to the Players Club form that we're using at the SOS. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to reward people that fill out their tracker. They fill out the Players Club form and turn them into us, let's say, by Friday night, and then we do a live on Sunday night, and we don't tell them there's going to be a reward. We just get on our team Zoom and we go, hey, there's 50 of you guys on here. We had 7 people that sent their tracker in. For each one of you that sent your tracker in, I'm sending you a blah, blah, blah this week. We just appreciate you doing the task that it took for sitting down and filling out that piece of paper. So reward the actions and praise your people and be generally concerned. Ask about their dogs. To this day, one of the kids that we mentored living in Honduras over 6 years ago, he calls me to this day. He'll send me Facebook messages and ask me how my Basset Hound is doing, because she's 14 years old. In dog years, she's like 100. That's what we got to get good at doing. All right, I'm going to shut up. Thousandaires, let's do it.
Anybody else?
Hey, I know I'm just jumping on. My bad. But I will share with you guys what we've been doing. We've been doing a platinum push for the team now that we've got all this new awesome stuff rolling out. And so I got to work and started digging in and being the outbound calling queen and getting everybody just really excited about going platinum, and really just reconnecting to figure out who wanted to go platinum. But taking responsibility myself to reach out and talk to everyone myself instead of with my leaders. I took the responsibility myself and dug in and kept digging in all weekend long. We have 39 people that are 100% committed to going platinum, not in a certain time frame, but just relaunching with all the new product and the new stuff that's coming out, and recommitting themselves now that we got May out of the way and school's over with, all that good stuff. But just recommitting and basically acting as a platinum now. So committing to what platinums do and what leadership is. So I've got 39 really fired up people, and I know there's more. They're coming because they're bringing more too. And they're fired up, they're committed. We're doing weekly accountability check-ins, and we're using the trackers, and they're all committed to the events. They're committed to telling their teams about it. They're committed to going out and utilizing the Players Club card. I mean, they're just committed to doing what platinums do, which is go out and lead. And then they're also reporting back daily on what their activities are in a thread that we made. So it was going over really well. And I had, out of everybody I asked if they wanted to be a part of it, no one said no. So I'm rejuvenated and really excited. So I wanted to share that with you guys.
Awesome. Ricky, any input? Ian, I know you guys were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You want to share anything that you guys got out of that?
Chris, before they pop on, because there's dead air there, I did this month, guys, and it's kind of goes on what Sean was saying, but 3 days left in the month. I had told people similar to what Micah was doing. I told my team, I said, listen, who's going to do the tracker form, Players Club form, who's going to track? And people, some people didn't, some people did. And it was 3 days before the month ended. And I rewarded the person who was struggling the most because she did the activity, but it wasn't working for her. She showed up to the meetings. She showed up for the calls. I tracked all of that with my team. And I told her at 3 days before the end of the month, I said, every customer I get for the next 3 days, I'm giving to you. I just threw the customers down below their site to reward her. She was so blown away that I would do that for her. That in turn fired her up so much, gave her belief in A, her leader, B, that she's going to start getting some cash in her bank account. And this woman, I tell you, needs the cash, but she showed up. So that's what I did. I said at the beginning of the month, who wants to do this activity? I monitored it. I was on every call. I watched to see who was on it. And at the end, I surprised them. I didn't even know I was going to do that at the end of the month, but I just felt so compelled that I did it. But that's something we can do as well. I mean, yeah, it was only 3 customers, but whatever. Now she's got some things going in her bank account.
Awesome. Ricky?
I am. Were you going to go first?
You go ahead, Rick.
All right, guys. We just getting back from Oklahoma, and really we were kind of blown away because they had the second biggest SOS training in Oklahoma. We had 65 people show up on Friday night. So that means 25 new people showed up. So they took action and really packed it out on Friday night to where Joe already put Oklahoma back in the map for August 3rd. Okay. I know a lot of you have been asking, hey, are they not coming to Minnesota or Idaho? I don't know what happened with the Idaho event, to be honest with you guys. I think it had to do with the hotel booking or something like that. So I'm pretty sure it's going to come up in the future. We have one in Ohio coming up, a new one, new area, Columbus, Ohio. And obviously we have New Orleans coming up also. Guys, this is my 3rd SOS training. And I can tell you what, like every time I go, I'm picking up something new. And as I'm going to it, I notice that it's becoming like I'm learning how to walk again. And what do I mean by that? Basically is as I'm talking to people, everything that these trainers are saying, everything's coming out of my mouth like them. And Joe goes, dude, Rick, he goes, really? This is only your 3rd? He goes, I can see you doing this in 6 months to a year, no problem. It's like I'm hearing it, and I'm just implementing the same thing over and over and over again. Last night, we went back to a barbecue, and it goes back to that Thousandaire Club. I mean, there was a couple of people there that just scared to talk to people, like, and man, me and Ian, spent about an hour with them, really getting to know them. And this girl went from completely being scared to wanting to talk to people to, super fired up about what's going on. And it's pretty exciting to see somebody get out of their own shell and want to go out and really help people, because she works at a beauty salon. So there's people coming in and out all day long. Her sister is also a promoter within the business. And actually her sister is not stealing her customers, but her customers aren't talking to her. They're talking to her sister. And it was pretty funny because, by the end of the meeting or the get together, she was super thankful, super fired up. And through that connection, you know, it's funny. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. I'm gonna do a Facebook Live with an American Idol finalist. Ain't that crazy, right? So if I would have never gone to Oklahoma, I would have never met this dude. And then I was sitting in the porch talking to the guy, and then his wife goes, "Yeah, this is my husband. He was one of the American Idol finalists." And then he started telling me about his story about Happy Coffee, what it's done for him, what it's done for his wife. Guys, this conversation is so simple, and Joe was phenomenal. I mean, like, you know, I know Greg is phenomenal also, but Joe was incredible. He was putting things to light like Greg wasn't, in a way. You get what I'm saying? Like, they have their own styles of training, basically, right? So I'm going to make a point to go to an SOS training as much as I can, because I know all of these guys are trained by Greg, and they all have special skills that I'm going to pick up something different from every one of them. But that opportunity meeting on Friday night is vital, guys, because those new people that are coming in to see the business, they're going home if they haven't signed up. And I guarantee you, August 3rd, whenever we go back to Oklahoma, there'll be 80 to 100 people there, no doubt. These people are fired up. And the reason I'm telling you guys this, too, because Joe was telling us that they're going to go where the fire is, okay? So basically, if they come to New Orleans and there's 20 people there, they're not going to come back, really. You get what I'm saying? So it's our job to really edify these speakers, like they were Bill Gates or Oprah Winfrey, because the place would be packed, right? So really edify the trainers. Also, I picked up on edifying the person that you're putting on a three-way call. Like edify, like that person's so busy. It's such a blessing to have this person on a call with us. And immediately, whenever you get on a three-way call, mute the phone and let the person you're putting on a three-way call with, let them do the talking. Because if you're cutting in on what they're saying, which I'm famous for doing that to Chris, okay, and it won't happen no more, what's the point of wasting Chris's time, right, if I know everything, right? So, guys, I'm super fired up. There's some changes coming very, very quickly. You guys are going to see some major changes. And I'm super fired up. I can't wait to see you guys in 3 weeks.
Awesome. Ian.
What is going on, guys? Can you hear me okay, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to let Ricky's go and get, you know, kind of his perspective on the thing. I just happened to catch on that Oklahoma team. They have their own group over there, and I got invited to the group, and I just happened to go. I was just gonna go say thank you for the hospitality that we experienced up there. Tammy Easterly was the hostess. Me and Ricky and Betsy stayed over at their place out in the country, just a beautiful property with a pond in the back. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. That helped us keep our costs down, you know, traveling up there. So that was very helpful for us. And they're just the most gracious. Just the hospitality was amazing. But anyway, I popped into that group just to go make a little thank you, you know, to the group thing. And they were doing a Facebook Live. And the Facebook Live, they were having a cookout, and all that team has already got together again today after we were just all together last night. And and they were kind of going around just, you know, what was your takeaway? What was the most important thing? And so, you know, one of the very cool things I heard is that Mama Sue flew up to Oklahoma and several of the people there said their favorite part of the whole thing was just meeting Mama Sue. And I watched my mother go around and talk to every single person and just get to know them and ask about them and you know, to I know this is real personal, but if you guys knew how depressed my mother was before this Happy Coffee showed up and before this business showed up, it was just an amazing, amazing thing to watch. And so to hear all those people, you know, that had never met her, a lot of them haven't, that just fell in love with her. And then Joe Locke, guys, like, this was my first SOS training. I've been to 3 of them myself. Greg Emmerman has done both of the SOS trainings I've been to. Joe Locke just completely knocked it out of the park. The guy was absolutely fantastic. So any of y'all, go to ElepanorEvents.com and see the trainings that are coming up. And if this guy's coming anywhere near you, just go. Just go. The guy was phenomenal. He was really, really good. We got to go out to dinner with him. Me and Ricky, I sat across from him. Ricky sat next to him. We kind of got to take turns picking his brain and asking questions. And I'm like Ricky, I pick up something new every single time I go. And what I'm seeing this do for the newest people on the team, like Ricky said, we had that event on Friday night where there were, 65 going on 70 people at that event. And, there were people just like what we heard about in Orlando that literally went up and signed up on the spot. And they weren't even Elepanors, but they signed up on the spot and went to the training all weekend. And so, that was very cool to see. And I know, Andrea, I'm close to Andrea. We've developed a really good relationship. She is not hip to going to events, guys. She hasn't been hip to going to training. She's looked at it as a big waste of her time. She don't need the rah-rah stuff. She don't need nobody motivating her. And when me and Ricky talked to her that this, and they said it over and over during the training, it's not about what you can do. It's about what will duplicate. And as she looked around and seeing all these people on this Tulsa team and what they were getting out of this and how much it took off of her not to have to be the trainer to teach each and every one of these people everything that they need to know to do this as a business, it's like the light bulb came on. And there's nobody more fired up than her and Brian Rhodes, her fiance, and to see just the change that's happened with them about wanting to plug in and have their people plugged in to the training. It's like you don't understand the value until you actually see that value with your own eyes, like up close and personal. And so, I'm just real grateful. I'll say it out loud. There's no secret. When we met Greg Emmerman and this group of people came out of nowhere at the convention, and some of us were looking at each other. I mean, me and Chris had conversations like, where did these guys come from? But now to know that they're actually building the business and doing the things that we have to do to build this as a business, it's not like they're trying to tell us some theory about what they think that we should be doing. They're teaching stuff that's actually working and systematizing everything. And I think that that's just going to make things better and easier as our teams grow and get bigger. I don't want to have to be the trainer guy and teach everybody. There's so many brand new people that don't know anything about network marketing. I really don't want to be the person to have to teach them everything. I'd love to go attend a training with them and let them learn from somebody else. Like, I don't have to do all the teaching. And to me, that's leverage, huge leverage. And like Ricky said, guys, there's some big things coming, big change happening. I know we've heard that over and over again. One of these days when they start openly talk about what all has happened behind the scenes to make this stuff happen, everybody will understand why we have went through what we've went through. But just know, guys, we're really, really close to some big changes. Exciting things are coming. We need to pack it out in Dallas, guys. We need to, from now until that event, we need to be the biggest cheerleaders on planet Earth and get as many people from our teams to that event as we can. The momentum coming out of that, the other trainings that are coming. I've already told Chris Wade I'm coming to New Orleans. We have a large Louisiana contingent growing over there, and you know, I want to see these people. I want to meet them in person. So that being said, I could talk all night. I'm excited, even though I'm tired. But I just wanted to say thank you to that Oklahoma team for the hospitality, man. It was absolutely fantastic. So go ahead,
Thank
Rick.
you. Thank you. Hey, I got one more thing, guys. And I learned this weekend after getting to know Joe. And it really resonated with me and all of us, because what's happened over here has been ineffable. We all know that, right? To be able to build a business at the caliber that we all did in such a short period of time, that's incredible with all the challenges that we've had. So whenever I was talking to Joe through dinner, he goes, Rick, you know what's crazy is that the way this happened, and this came out of his mouth before me even talking to him about anything, is like it was God sent, because we were in another company and Greg Emmerman saw things that wasn't aligning with him anymore and left that company. They were about to do the training for that other company. A week later, Greg Emmerman and his crew are at our convention hosting an event. They had 1 week to prepare for that. So guys, really think about that, because everything that's happened here has been ineffable. All these people that have came into our life, it happened for a reason. And that validated it even more whenever that came out of Joe Buck's mouth, or however you say his name, Joe. But I was like, wow, that's incredible. And he goes, Ricky, trust me. Greg Emmerman is amazing. The training that we're going to get through this guy is just incredible. Him and his guys been doing this training for 30 years, and we are blessed to have these guys training us and training our people while they're out there building their own business. That's priceless. So whenever you're getting pushback, oh, that's $199. Guys, what I started doing is, hey, if somebody don't have the money to come in with the $1,000 pack, I'll get them to come in with the $500 pack and make sure that they're getting to the SOS near them. And don't think just that they don't have the money to fly to Houston or whatever. I would say, hey, can you get to the nearest SOS training? Here's one in Houston on this date. While you're signing them up, don't hit them up with that cost a week later after they've came into the business. That's what I suggest doing. That's what I've been doing. It's been working out great, because they go, oh man, thank you. Yeah, so can I come in with the $500 pack instead? Absolutely. Because that $50 that you're giving up, it's going to times 100 once these people go into these trainings and are trained. Thank you, Chris.
Awesome. So just as we close out, when we were in Visalis, what they did, and the reason why we became one of the fastest growing companies out there, was because basically we bought into the cause. And what this creating 1,000 thousandaires is doing is creating a cause that people can actually achieve. You know, I got a picture of this girl Linda's check, and she says, oh my God. Now she's mainly a customer getter. She just has some customers, and she's not plugged into everything. She's a school teacher, and you know, she has all kinds of sports things when some of our calls are and all that, but she plugs in when she can. And she is like, oh my God. And she took a picture of her checking account, and there was $16 left in it. And then she got basically $966 residual check from this company from just sharing some coffee and Xanthamax with people. And she's like, this can pay my mortgage. And guys, we have something that can literally change so many people's lives. And if we can get people fired up and we celebrate the Strive for 5, which is a small victory, but a large victory for others, and celebrate people getting their 5 customers. 5 customers, not a big deal. But if they can get 5 customers and we celebrate that little victory, that gives them the belief that they can create the big victory. And then when we start, sharing hashtag I Elevated in all the stories, and we start showcasing the stories, I got $1,000 check in our Team Rise, or I don't know if we could just share the Elevated and how it changed their life, but not put the number of what they made on Facebook, just because I don't know if that's considered, and we have to find out if that's an income claim. But guys, if we get people to buy into 1,000 thousandaires, I truly believe that this can be a cause that people can buy into. And when we have people get on the call, our team Zoom or whatever, and share, I Elevated. And that, I didn't think I could do it, but, by going out and sharing and starting to build a team, I Elevated, and I had $1,000 check, guys. I really believe that this can be something that can push us to a whole nother level of momentum. I couldn't think of the word. So guys, I posted the video that Ray Higdon did with Larry. And he talks about the 80%, the 15%, and the 5%. And he talks about the importance of resonating with the masses. So guys, I recommend everybody watching that. It's on the Platinum page. And it was such a blessing to be able to personally meet these guys and see their heart. So with that being said, if anybody else has anything in closing, or we'll finish the call.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so my question is, when do we want to get this going? I think we all agreed that we would love to do the 1,000 thousandaires, however you want to do it. Is that something we'll,
I say we start promoting it now. We start selling the cause now. We start getting people bought in to the mission now, where, that becomes part of our story. Like even on a 3-way call, hey guys, we believe that, the key to creating true success is to get a large group of people to do a few simple things over a repeated period of time. And what we're doing in our mission is to create 1,000 thousandaires. And on the welcome call, how many times have you had somebody say that, they want to make an extra 1,000? And then we're asking them, how would that change your life? And they start to share. And then we start going, well, guys, if you really want to make $1,000, this is what it looks like. And we talk about peek and pass. We talk about passing the ball. We talk about all you have to do is 2 a day. 2 a day consistently. We tie that 2 a day into the 1,000 thousandaires. We tie in our system. We tie in the Players Club form. We tie that stuff in to the 1,000 thousandaires. So now we get everybody to buy into the cause, and then we anchor the activity into the cause. And on the welcome calls, look, guys, we don't want to tell somebody. If somebody says they want to make $4,000 a month, and we're going to know the numbers now as we're going to have a back office with tracking, we're going to figure out how many thousandaires do we need to create each income level, right? So, guys, if you create 5 thousandaires, you're making ABC amount of money a month. And then when we have this number, there's another thing. Michael was a part of this, but somebody said they wanted to make a 6-figure income. Easy. Help this many people become thousandaires. So guys, this is going to be a point that we can use to drive a cause, to basically tell people, look, the elevator gets off at whatever floor you want to go. You want to make $100,000 a month? Great. Help this many people at that, but it's so much easier for people to visualize, a few things versus talking about, it overwhelms people to talk about platinum. We have to make a big deal about bronze. We have to make a big deal about all the ranks.
Definitely. So cool. So what I'm going to do personally is, like I said, I've been trying to think of something creative, promotions. Yeah, of course, that's good. This is just amazing. I love it. I'm thinking, I'm going to say, hey guys, who's going to be the thousandaires? Who wants, in my private group, who wants to be a part of the thousandaires and earn and get the, amazing T-shirt that proves, and then after that, edify that, uplift it, say that we're going to create, most businesses, they say $500 a month is a great income. Well, we're going to raise the bar here. We're creating something. We're elevating the game to 1,000 thousandaires, guys. That's just the first journey we're going to go. Once we do that, we're doing huge things. Who's going to be a part of the first wave? Edify it, get it going, and then say, hey, we're thinking about, and I'm just adding this on right now, is to have, to get a picture. Everybody who gets a T-shirt does a selfie, and then when we hit 1,000, we're going to scrunch every person into a tiny 1,000 picture. You know what I mean? Someone with good editing, and then be like, boom, that's going to be our first thousandaire club. Are you going to be on that picture? Whatever. You know what I mean? Just something to get excited. And yeah, I think this will definitely create, a vision, a first-time goal, and momentum. And then right before convention, who wants to do it before convention? Who's even whatever? You know how it goes. Like, I mean, we want to definitely push for convention and have people crossing the stage at convention and have people hitting ranks at convention. Get recognized of hitting diamond, platinum, whatever it is, gold at convention is in front of a room. That would be amazing and create excitement. So
I just shared a video in the Platinum group. There's a 3-minute video, and it's a blog of one of my early mentors, Darnell Self. The guy's dynamic, amazing. And he talks about the small wins. And he talks about we need to focus more on congratulating people for doing the activity and filling out the Players Club than we do celebrating platinums. I mean, if we can get really good at this and really get good at celebrating these little victories, the big victories are going to come. And if we do the thousandaires, guys, our checks are going to be so amazingly large. I mean, it's going to be mind-blowing what happens in our lives if we keep the main thing and inspire people that they can be way more than what they believe that they can be. And we believe in them. They can borrow our belief, and then basically they can become anything. And it was this philosophy, guys, that I shared, early on when we all started talking. I was not that guy that won real fast, right? They said it takes a few short years to change your life, and really in 90 days, anything can happen in 90 days. Anything can happen in 90 days. And I'll close with this. One of the speakers said, and it's a perfect example, looking at how some person might grow fast versus some person might grow slow. We are rewarded or punished. I don't know if it was punished was the word, but basically whatever our success level is in getting started, a lot of times has to do with what our past was and what we did in our past. So many times when you see somebody get started and they just boom, huge success, all that means is they went through things before they came wherever they went that helped them propel. Ricky's story is a story of a rough life of being picked on and getting in trouble and all this stuff, was the philosophies that created his change to where he decided to be a winner, right? And everyone has those same challenges and things. Some of them might have been in business for people. Some of them might have been wherever it is. But when you hear or see the fast story, there's always a story behind the story, guys. So, the point being is if we inspire people, because some people don't have the story before, and their story is being created here. Their story's it's happening here. And if we build this cause, then we can move people through the ones that didn't do the things before they got here, and they're going through it here. And this is a small stepping stone. With that being said, guys, love you all. See you on the Zoom on Thursday.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Chris. Good night.